We've heard this over the years. Now, if it were ever to be one character that we've heard of as far as this type of thing, it would be Jim that I would think it would be possible with, being an eccentric type. Now, John has told me on more than one occasion he believes that Jim Morrison is, in fact, alive. So how did you come to this conclusion, John? Tell me a little bit about the background on this.
3 years ago, I was looking at a website and I was reading about Kurt Cobain and stories about how he might have been killed. And I closed out of that, and all of a sudden there was another prompt, and it said there was a story about a cowboy in Oregon who was supposed to be Jim Morrison. And I thought that was some kind of show, or this guy sings by a campfire door songs. But I called the number on the site, and I talked to the gentleman, and he said no, that was his neighbor. He doesn't know a lot about rock and roll, but in fact he had found out it was Jim Morrison of the Doors. So I've been talking to this fella for a couple years and investigating it more and more, and I sure found out how the Doors are choosing to cover up the fact that Jim Morrison is alive. His name is Bill Loyer, and he lives out in the West Coast.
You know, you have different theories to back this up. Now, every time someone's about to stop him, say, "Oh, this is a bunch." John, have you seen Bigfoot? He has something to back up every part of the theory. Now, is that true that at one time the Doors had a concert in Oregon that was canceled?
Yes, and that was when I was first getting started back in 2006. Doors of the 21st Century, they scheduled a concert like 1 hour away from where Jim was living, way up in the mountains of Oregon. And I thought that was very suspicious. And I went to their website, and all of a sudden that concert was canceled. There's been a lot of bizarre acts like that where it seems like the Doors are trying to communicate with Jim. Matter of fact, Manzarek even says, "Haven't you heard? Jim is alive. He's a cowboy out in Oregon." And it looks like he's being sarcastic, but really he's being serious, and he knows it.
Everyone knows that Ray was a good friend of Jim Morrison's. Now, why hasn't he come out with a story? Is there money to be made in the book? Why is he not confessing that Jim is alive?
I don't think that Jim and Ray were really good friends. I think they were in a band together. It was a business, and it was a business that went bad when they signed a 9-year record contract with Elektra. And that was something that Jim never wanted, so he would do anything. He would die to get out of that contract, and that's exactly what he did. Doors, they're under a contract with their record label. I don't know who it is now. And right now, they're all protecting their own asses because John Densmore, the drummer, he just sued Ray Manzarek and Robby Krieger and won for $5 million. This was a couple months ago. And right now they're all running for cover because they know that they used Jim, they used his rights, they didn't pay the royalties to their family.
Okay, so what about, you mentioned Pam, and we all, most of us saw the movie. You know, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, it's become kind of the Doors template in our mind. But Pam passed away, in theory, a year after Jim. So now that this theory is coming to play here about Jim being alive, is Pam alive too? Did she go hide out with him, or how did that work exactly?
I've talked to Jim Morrison's wife, and I could hear him in the background talking. But no, it sure sounds like Pamela Courson really did die, and that Jim and other people in the family really loved her a lot. She was a very special person, but she did die. Yeah, so it's interesting that the doctor who signed the fake death certificate never, in all these years, over 30 years, never went and had a public interview about the death certificate or about the claim. So he just signed the certificate, got paid a lot of money, and left town, so to speak. And yeah, Jim has moved on since. I don't know a lot of the details as to what he's been doing to get by all these years. But yeah, I know he is remarried to a woman. She's formerly a medical doctor, very successful. And Jim's living a life he always wanted as an artist, and he's doing painting and enjoying life. There's a couple places I think one can start if they wanted to investigate on their own. And the first one is start where I did, and that's the Rodeos West website. And Gerald Pitts has really done a job on that, and I guess he's got it up to 20 pages now with pictures and music and everything of Bill Loyer, aka Jim Morrison. So you can really get a lot of facts from that Rodeos West website. And the other is to start following Cliff Morrison, who alleges that he is Jim Morrison's son.
Oh!
Yeah, and he just won the Los Angeles Best New Album of the Year and Best Overall Album of the Year for the city of Los Angeles back in November. So I think he's going to be mainstream in no time at all, and he'll help us break out the truth.
Oh, you know, you never really hear about any kids. Interesting stuff there. John, thanks for stopping by. Is Jim Morrison alive? Let's do some Doors.